Thank you. Jane?
Master developers, we've been there, we've done that. I think it's time to try something new. I applaud the city for moving forward on the basis it's going right now, which is emphasizing that doing it as Alameda as its own developer, and doing it in accordance with the plan that the Alameda citizens came up with in the mid-90s when this opportunity first was presented to us. I think we need to move forward with the leasing of the historic reuse area. That, I think, is going to really take a big jump once, if, as predicted, we get the deeds to the property by the end of this calendar year. Then we're going to be in a position to be able to really market ourselves in a big way to tenants that will come into that area, because we're going to be able to offer them long-term leases as opposed to the kind of short-term leases that currently are offered because we don't have title to the property. Another problem with going with a master developer is, as we've seen from the SunCal plan, most master developers need to build a lot of housing in order to make it financially worth their while. And that's a little bit of a problem right now, because although we have a so-called no-cost reconveyance of the point, in fact, that's no cost only if we build the maximum of 1,825 residential units on the point. The minute we start building more than 1,825 units, we have to pay the Navy $50,000 a unit, which will, if we got up to the kind of number that SunCal proposed, be way more than the $108 million that the Navy wanted to charge us in the first instance. So I think we need to go parcel by parcel. We need to figure out what's right for each area, and we need to be our own developer, our own master developer, so that we can take charge of Alameda Point and build it in the way that we, the citizens of Alameda, want, not what some big company that's in it for a quick motor. Thanks.
Thank you. Jim?
Test. Good. Okay. Okay, Alameda Point. Obviously, it's on everybody's mind. In discussing, thinking about Alameda Point, what comes to mind first is number one, let's get it cleaned up, and let's get the conveyance done. Those will be the two most important things. And then we have visioned and revisioned Alameda Point, so I am blurred right now. But if I understand where the community is, I think we're way, way back to 1997. The original plan with about 1,400 houses and a mixture of other uses, including live, work, co-housing, whatever is going to work out there for Alameda's needs. I am going to introduce something, a concept called entitlement zoning, which means it's not hard, rigid zoning, and I'll tell you why I want to introduce this concept, because I've been involved with Alameda Landing since 2005, when I was with Bike Alameda, and Catalyst asked us, please come and look at this vision for what we want to do for Alameda Landing. And we all looked at it, and it was housing, and then there was the retail, and then there was a little bit of business park. And I was like, oh, that's great. Gave it our stamp because it had lots of bike parking and things like that. 2 years later, we were asked to come back again because the market had changed. And all of a sudden, office space wasn't going anymore, and they wanted to go in a different direction. So we took a look at it again, and it all looked very good. We said, okay, fine, we're good, going again. Fast forward 3 years later, the market had changed again. So I want us to remain flexible to take advantage of current market situations when they present themselves. I'm looking at reuse right away because we could do that. And then when we start to get into the housing, let's do water-based transit villages so we don't plug up that tube. We got great views. It's a short shot to San Francisco. As far as now to answer the question, because you want me to answer that question, staff costs versus available funding. And as one of 3 people here that are attorneys who could appreciate the answer, it depends. And I want to see the deal when it's in front of me and it's actually materialized.
Thank you. Well, in the 6+ years that I've been on the planning board, we've discussed this topic almost continually. To the question, master developer, or should the city develop Alameda Point without a master developer? I would say at this point, really either. I think the most important thing is the quality of the agreement or agreements that are entered into. I think we've learned a lot from the past. Some things we wouldn't repeat, but we'll go forward more knowledgeable than we were previously. So the main thing is that we get a good solid agreement that is to the benefit of the city. I think there's three things that need to be done for the successful development of Alameda Point, and I've talked to our mayor who's in the audience about this. The first thing we need to do, and we hope to do before the end of this year, is to complete the negotiations with the Navy, because right now this is still federal property. It doesn't belong to us. Those negotiations should include the level of cleanup, and I hope you all know that cleanup has been ongoing. We must rezone the Navy. That's something that will come, rezone Alameda Point is something that will come before the planning board, hopefully before the end of the year, because the zoning there still is the government industry, government overlay that was there during World War II. We need to be able to say, here are the things that you can do at Alameda Point, and here's where you can do it, and those uses will align with the objectives in the 1996 base reuse plan and every iteration that made it even better over the succeeding years. We need to actively market Alameda Point, and there is tremendous maritime industry potential here. It's something that Alameda has that other communities don't. And you know, the America's Cup coming to San Francisco has helped introduce this wonderful potential to others who might not have been aware of it. We're going to have job-creating uses out there, residential, some retail, recreation and open space in a transit-oriented development, which will include a new ferry terminal at Seaplane Lagoon. And it's something that will take a lot of work. We'll look to developers to help with the infrastructure. Thank you.
Well, that question is solved. Isn't that wonderful? Thank you all.